every step taking him further away from everyone and everything he knew, and closer to destiny.
Hello and welcome back to Boring Dad Gaming, where today we're going to be continuing with Beacon Pines. And it feels a bit like we're building towards a conclusion here. Although we don't know the exact nature of the source, we kind of know that it destroyed the previous town, probably was involved in killing the Sharper Valentine, the old mayor type guy, and probably our dad as well. Yeah.
To be continued in Beacon Pines, Pines Harder. Revenge served. Second time's a charm? Wait, that's it? This ends with a crummy cliffhanger just when it was getting good? I was even starting to like Iggy.
Yeah, Iggy died at the end of the last song. We let him die.
I refuse to be associated with some never-ending parade of sequels.
Okay, I think that was a fake out.
More definitive.
Oh, right, okay, so that was an ending. Perhaps not the ending. Interesting. Alright. Well, what else can we go back and change? So it's this one. It's the interrogation, and I guess we'll try and be sly. That's a new charm that we've picked up. So this is where we've got Mr. Tolliver trapped in Gran's basement. Although, is it even Gran? They're on the classic good cop, sly cop.
They'd run the classic good cop, sly cop interrogation. Luca and Rollo ducked behind a barrel, leaving Beck to her task. With a few crisp snaps, she roused Mr. Tolliver.
What? What's going on here? You're that Moodwill girl. Please, call me Beck. Sorry about all this.
Mr. Tolliver looked down and shifted a bit, testing his restraints.
It seems there's been a mix-up. You see, I'm down here for the same reason you are. Juniper sent you here?
Beck caught herself before letting the surprise manifest on her face. She'd already gotten him to reveal his relation to Gran. This was going to be easy.
You know how Juniper is with her precautions. Operation Sparkplug has us all on edge. I guess she thought you needed some backup. But she sent a child? What better way to avoid prying eyes? Who would suspect a kid? I suppose that makes sense.
Mr. Tolliver wriggled a bit in his restraints.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
Beck quickly removed the ropes.
That had to be uncomfortable. A little, yeah. But you understand. We never know who to trust in this town.
Mr. Tolliver rubbed the growing knot on his forehead.
Very true. So it turns out we're both here to...
Beck twirled her hand, as if to prompt Mr. Tolliver to finish her thought.
Destroy the evidence.
Beck shook her head and clicked her tongue.
Yep, the old gal is nothing if not thorough.
Mr. Tolliver let out an amused huff in agreement.
She sure is. Can't blame her, though. If anyone were to find out that we're going to destroy the source, well, we both know how bad that might be. No one will know anything once I finish cleaning things up down here.
Beck was on a roll now, playing Mr. Tolliver like a fiddle.
Sure you can finish this up on your own? Juniper trusted me for a reason. You can leave the rest to me. Good. There is one more loose end I'll go work on. Loose end? Oh, it's nothing really. The other day I had the radio on scan while restocking the candy shelf. And wouldn't you know it, I intercepted an odd phrase in a perennial harvest transmission. Underground secrets. That's ominous. I think it might be a password, but Juniper dismissed it. Said it wasn't mission critical. What's the password for? We don't know. So we have a password and know where to put it. It's got to mean something, right? Good thinking. You should probably go work that out. I've got this under control. Oh, that's a relief. Between you and me, this basement gives me the willies.
Heading for the stairs, Mr. Tolliver hesitated and turned to Beck with a puzzled look. She grinned and gave him a peppy wave. With a shrug, he continued up the stairs, whistling a jaunty tune.
You guys catch that? Sure did. This whole time, Mr. Tolliver's had a candy shelf, but all he ever sells us is apples.
Beck blinked slowly in disappointment.
The password, Rollo. Well, sure, but once things are back to normal, I'll be having a word with Mr. Tolliver about that candy shelf. Fine. In the meantime, I've got an idea.
She turned to the table and began tearing small scraps of paper.
He said he heard a password on the radio. A good spy transmission is never what it seems.
Beck marked each scrap of paper and leaned back.
We just need to find the hidden meaning. Okay. What's another word for underground? Buried? Covered? Could it be a cover-up? Maybe it's one of those each letter is a number thingies. So U would be 21, N would be 14, D would be... Ooh! It's an anagram. Nuncreed's Drugstore.
Luca and Beck looked at Rollo with amazement.
Rollo, that was incredible. Well, it's either that or Kren's new drugstore. Yeah, I think you were right the first time. How did you do that? What can I say? I love ciphers. Well, I guess we know where to go next. Go to the new drugstore. Do we avoid her? She's one of the conspiracy, isn't she? I don't suppose we could do anything in here. You're late, Augustus.
Sorry, sister. Was caught up with work.
Work? You?
And a few more details to lock down for the festival.
Oh, what did you have to report? What is this insipid town festival really about?
I think,
Gus looked around nervously.
I think Mr. Kerr really does just want to do something good for the town. He's actually a pretty nice guy. You should spend some time with him.
I didn't pull strings installing you as mayor so that you could make friends. Your job is to help me figure out what Kerr and Perennial Harvest's true intentions are with this town. We have a responsibility. This is our father's town.
Was.
Excuse me?
This was our father's town. He's gone, heiress, and he isn't coming back. Father left us with nothing but problems. Mr. Kerr came here and offered to help us. We accepted that help.
We didn't agree to them turning Father's warehouse into a toxic dumping ground.
Well, that's just a temporary arrangement.
The glow can be seen from our damn backyard. They're dumping their nasty little secrets on us. When this all inevitably goes wrong, who do you think will be blamed?
Eris's cry hung in the air.
We have a new choice to make now, sister. This town's going to change whether we like it or not. We're going to choose to be part of that future, and we'll be forgotten in the past.
It's a shame. Father named you Augustus, but you will always just be a Gus.
Good night, heiress. I'll see you at breakfast tomorrow.
It's getting late, children. That lady's still reading. Oh, that's the sort of adopted kid, isn't it?
Solomon stood proudly at the entrance to the drugstore, holding a brown bag overflowing with black licorice.
Hey, Solomon. We're looking for Mr. Nuncreed. Is he still in there? I'm afraid not. Where'd you get all the candy from? Oh, you might say we have an arrangement.
Solomon shoveled a surprising amount of licorice into his mouth.
Sometimes it's the small pleasures in life. Though we might not always have family to rely on, licorice has never let me down. Well, I can't say licorice would be my first choice, but whatever floats your boat. You can tell a lot about a person by their choice of confection. Oh, yeah, I guess. I like sour gobs. I certainly do. I always wonder why Mr. Nuncreed kept licorice in stock. You must eat enough of it to make it worthwhile. There are many ways to earn loyalty. For some, it's as easy as cold, hard cash. Well, he's right. It's locked. There's got to be more clues. Okay, let's see. Have you ever seen anyone actually use this thing? Besides Mr. Nuncreed, no.
Beck cupped her hands on the glass to peek inside.
That's not a normal phone booth. It's got like a blinky keypad. Why would there be a blinky keypad? Kren's new drugstore! I mean, Underground Secrets! The password!
Flung open the door and they all squeezed in.
All right, let's see here.
Luca cracked his knuckles and entered the letters into the keypad.
Underground Secrets. Sounds like that did something. Great. Now what? I guess we...
The
Wah!
side of the phone booth dropped loose from its shell. Without even the space to panic, they closed their eyes, held their breath, and accepted their fate. Suddenly, the chaotic descent slowed to an effortless landing. It was unclear where they ended up, but at least it was solid ground.
Ooh.
The air was stagnant and smelled vaguely of chlorine.
I knew it! You knew there was a secret hub full of strange tubes under the phone booth? Of course I did! Didn't I say that? No. I definitely thought it. Luca, do you remember when I said how cool it would be if the transdimensional conduits from Hank Atomic issue number 12 were real? Rolo, at one point or another, you said that about every technology ever discussed in Hank Atomic. That's why I'm such a good predictor. It looks like each of these has something written on them. This suit has a broken mask. So have we found our mystery warehouse creeper? We've at least found their hazmat suit. If it walks like a Nuncreed and talks like a Nuncreed, let's not jump to conclusions. Just saying. Mining Operations Alpha. You guys have mines here? Not that I know of. This town is all farms and fertilizer. And a series of tubes. Pa always says you can only trust a miner up to the point when they hit gold. Not sure how that wisdom applies in this exact situation. That's the thing about Pa, you don't always realize what he means until it's too late. Perennial Harvest main office. Oh, that's where my mom works. What does she do? Science stuff? Is she involved in all of this? We just moved here. How could she be involved? True. Valentine Fertilizer Warehouse. Isn't that where you almost got snatched? Yeah. Why would Perennial Harvest have a tube going to the old Valentine place? This is starting to feel like something big. That's a lot of buttons. Stand aside, Earthlings. I've read enough Hank Atomic to know my way around sci-fi tech.
Rollo's hands hovered over the field of blinking buttons.
Eeny, meeny, miny. Rollo, what did you do? Nothing! I didn't even mow yet! What was that? Hide. Where? There's nothing but weird tubes down here. Just get back.
Shit.
Shit. Shit. Awesome!
You all need to come with me now.
We aren't going anywhere with you. Not until we get some answers. Mr. Underground Secrets.
I told them it was an absurd password, but they love anything that makes them feel clever.
They who?
That's no matter. If I can keep you hidden until after the festival, I might be able to save your skins.
We don't care about our skins. Hold on now, I like my skin. This all stops now, Nuncreed.
Joseph waited for a moment in silence.
You sound just like him.
Who?
Walt.
You don't get to talk about my dad.
You know, your father and I were friends back before
He gestured toward the strange tubes.
all of this.
That's a lie.
It's true. I used to bounce you on my knee.
What happened?
The same thing that always happens. Reality, complications, life. We were a team, Walt and I. An idealistic doctor and a bright-eyed pharmacist. Both helping unhelping folks.
So you were his sidekick?
No, we were partners. He helped the patients and I helped him.
Yep, total sidekick.
Nuncreed let out a growl of a sigh.
Luca, I need you to know this. I need someone to know this. One day, Sharper Valentine comes to us. Says she's got an opportunity. He'd found something he didn't quite understand. And he was willing to pay us both handsomely to help him understand it.
And my dad said no.
Your father and I both believed in helping people. But the thing I could never get him to understand was, it's a lot easier to help others if you help yourself now and then.
Classic sidekick into a villain plotline.
Walt loved being righteous almost more than he loved his family. He was wrong about one thing, though. When he begged me not to take Valentine's offer, he said, Joseph, if a person says yes one time to Sharper Valentine, he'll make sure they keep on saying yes to him until the day he's dead and gone.
He shook his head wistfully.
Sharp is long gone, but he's still got me saying yes.
Is there a point to this sub-story?
Well, not really, no. Just an old man trying to delay what needs doing.
Nuncreed took a menacing step towards the children.
I tried to keep you safe. I tried to keep you and Juniper out of this. But you forced my hand.
Luca began to laugh.
What?
You really don't know. My Gran isn't out of this. She's been scheming right under your nose.
Juniper?
Seems like she's planning on crashing the town's party.
She's going to disrupt the festival? Why would she?
The color drained from Nuncreed's face.
How does she know?
Apparently she knows a lot of things.
What?
Let's just say this isn't the only underground lair we've busted into today. And honestly, hers is way cooler. She's got maps and explosives and bad intentions, big man.
Nuncreed grabbed Luca by the shoulders. His eyes were frantic.
You need to tell me what she's going to do right now. She doesn't understand what it is she's messing with. Tell me now. She's in danger, boy.
I don't know. She had a map with a mark on the fountain in town square.
A fountain? But why
A
would...
jolt of realization struck Mr. Nuncreed.
She knows about the source?
What the heck is the source?
If she tries to destroy the source, it could catalyze and... Dear God, she's gonna freeze us all. You all need to run.
Run where?
Away. As far away from this town as you can get. Head west and don't look back.
That did not go how I expected. So, we're totally following him, right? Totally. See you on the other side. Whoop. You good? Yep. I love this town.
Chapter 8. The Cold, Hard Truth. Beck leapt up, allowing the suction to yank her into the dark. Dimness eclipsed around her like the shutter of a camera as she seemed to cover great distance in mere moments. Her only points of reference were glints of upcoming turns, which approached with frightening speed, only to carom her gracefully along. She heard the tinny, distant echoes of Rollo's glee. Once she stopped fighting against it, the ride was impossibly smooth. Then, all of a sudden, as if minutes had passed in an instant, light blazed into view. A burst of wintry air snuffed across her face, and she was flung out into the cold.
That was intense. Yeah. I think I might have parted with some fluids in there. Any idea where we are? Somewhere cold. Doesn't look like it got on any of us. It didn't feel like we traveled that far. So where did it all go? This place sucks. Why would anyone even want to blow something up out here? Only one way to find out, I suppose. We've got to catch up to Nuncreed. I think he went this way. Alright, we're just going to run into the town centre, I think. Okay, this is starting to feel really familiar. I may not be the most well-versed in all things Beacon Pines, but this does look sort of like some frozen replica of town. Ah, I got it! It's so obvious now. Mr. Nuncreed is an alien. Rollo, stick with me here. This species can only live in sub-zero temperatures. Oh boy, here we go. The source is their base camp dimension, so naturally they keep it cold. We found it by travelling through those metallic wormholes back there. The final objective, kill us all and shapeshift into a Beacon Pines citizen of their choosing. You never really had me, but you very much lost me there. You get used to it. We should keep moving.
As they rounded the corner to the frozen town square, they spotted Mr. Nuncreed inching cautiously toward a pit at its center. He held his arms out gingerly, as if approaching a beast in the wild. Upon closing the distance, Luca recognized what Nuncreed was after. Gran stood confidently at the edge, one arm outstretched over the abyss. Nearby, a wheelbarrow had been emptied out. She held a lit torch, which flickered in the bitter wind.
Juniper, I don't know what you think you're doing, but I assure you this is not gonna solve anything. If you drop that, you've doomed this whole town.
No, it wasn't me who doomed this town. I've been watching you, Joseph. I know what you've done. You and your co-conspirators.
Gran? What's happening?
Luca, you and your friends need to leave right this moment.
Mr. Nuncreed turned back toward the kids, desperation in his eyes.
Listen to your grandma, Luca. This is between me and Juniper.
Rollo and Beck held steadfast in awe. Luca approached closer. Mr. Nuncreed spun back toward Gran, his voice growing louder.
You got it all wrong, Juniper. Just hand over that torch. You don't understand what you're doing.
How could I possibly trust you to do the right thing? Walt told me everything. He trusted you, and you betrayed that trust. Luca, did you know this man's entire life is a lie? If it weren't for him, your father might still be alive.
Mr. Nuncreed winced with anguish. His voice hardened.
That's not true.
They both now yelled, not to each other, but at fate itself, making their peace with long-held burdens. The wind howled with encouragement.
Walt was like a brother to me. We just had different ideas about how to affect change.
Very convenient that your way just happened to lie in your pockets.
Now that's not fair.
They menaced at each other, both catching their breath. The moment balanced on a knife's edge.
Ooh, we're gonna make a choice.
Amid a blur of emotions and memories, Luca's mind flooded with questions. The wind calmed, as if to give him the stage.
Let's say he's gonna hum. Maybe it'll be an inspiring tune.
And in the stillness, he began to hum. After the death of his father, Luca had trouble sleeping. Each night, his mother would sit at the foot of his bed and hum a gentle melody. It was the only thing that could calm his mind. The only thing that, however briefly, could make it all seem okay. That melody pervaded every memory Luca had of his mother. Shivering in the raw snow, he began to hum it out loud. Gran lowered the torch, listening closely. As recognition slowly set in, her heart sank. Those countless nights of consolation, the incomparable loss they shared together. She let the torch fall to the snow and sizzle out. A few steps toward Luca was all she could bear before dropping to the snow herself. Through a flood of tears, she began to hum along, note for note. Luca lifted his head in astonishment. The last time he heard that melody was the last night he saw his mother.
How do you know?
I'm so sorry, my little buckaroo.
Buckaroo? The only people who call me that are my dad and...
Your mother.
Luca blinked through blurry, watery eyes, trying to see more clearly. He could just make out the impression of a familiar face. He peered across the snowscape at the woman on her knees. Something about her was undeniably his mother. Only smaller, older, changed.
That's probably the toxic stuff that made her older, maybe.
That's right, buckaroo.
Mom?
Luca sprinted as fast as he could toward his mother. They held each other close, and the cold retreated from their bodies.
Eleanor? I thought you were...
Gone? You should have known I would never abandon my son.
Eleanor looked down at Luca, tightening her embrace in an appeal for forgiveness.
How?
You're a smart man, Joseph. I thought you'd have pieced it together by now.
You were exposed.
Mum, I don't understand any of this. What happened to you? Where did you go? Why did you leave me?
I never left you. I was always right here, Luca.
Why did you lie to me?
It tore me up, Luca, but I did it to keep you safe. I thought that getting answers would help us both move on. The more I discovered, the more I realized the danger we were in. Until perennial harvest was stopped, it was better if everyone thought I was gone.
You could have trusted me.
These are bad people, Luca. They won't stop until they get what they want. And they don't care who gets hurt in the process.
Then, what do? We have to stop them.
Joseph slumped into the cold, wet snow.
They can't be stopped. This is too big.
I tried beating them at their own game. I'm done fighting fire with fire.
For the first time in a long time, Her voice felt like her own again.
No more lies. I see now there's a better way to stop perennial harvest. The cold, hard truth.
Luca gazed down at Nuncreed with pity. He looked small. Joseph stared into the snow, as if searching it for answers.
Come on, everyone, we've got a party to crash.
Well, there you go. You don't understand. He always wins.
Chapter 9. The Devil You Know. 7 months ago. Eleanor Van Horn crept down the maze of sterile hallways under perennial harvest. She stopped in front of the large steel door marked Deep Engineering. No turning back now. She raised a trembling hand. The stolen keycard worked as promised, and the door bust open with mechanical efficiency. She was immediately hit with the smell of disinfectant. It was some sort of laboratory. In one corner was a desk covered in papers. Across the room stood a tall metal pod with hoses protruding from its base. She rushed to the desk and began shifting through the piles of papers. They were experiment reports on something called Tempus liquamen. There were dozens of them, every one stamped failed. Eleanor heard the sharp echo of footsteps approaching. She was out of time. Her eyes scanned the room, eventually landing on the strange pod. Muttering a curse under her breath, she dashed over and dove inside.
And that is what change is all about. Grabbing the future by the scruff of the neck and making things happen. Change is a choice. I'm tickled pink that we'll all be making that choice together. How great is that?
This man is a liar.
Excuse me?
I will not. This town has a dangerous secret, and perennial harvest only exists to keep it hidden.
Nonsense.
They picked up the whole damn town and moved it right under our noses.
You aren't making any sense, dear.
Mr. Kerr addressed the crowd with a sarcastic tone.
Imagine such a thing. It's absurd and just plain impossible.
They promised they could fix the foul harvest. They told us they would clean this place up. We just had to leave town for a few days. But while they had us evacuated...
Mrs. Hartford, I'm afraid I'm going to have to ask you to...
You're afraid of a lot of things, aren't you? You sniveling little worm.
This is growing tiresome. A little help, please.
Don't you all see? This festival is a sham. An excuse to have the whole town gather in one place. They're planning something awful. I don't know what, but these people are wicked.
Don't listen to her. She has absolutely no proof.
I am the proof. I'm Eleanor Van Horn.
Whispers filtered through the crowd.
Well, aren't you just as sneaky as the Dickens?
We all knew Valentine's fertilizer was too good to be true. And now this whole town is paying the price.
Ladies and gentlemen, I'm so sorry about this disruption. My associates will take this obviously disturbed woman somewhere comfortable, so that she can get the help she needs. She's not the one who's disturbed. You two-timing clown. You all know there's something wrong with this town. It was just easier to look the other way. The truth is...
That's quite enough, Mr. Nuncreed.
Torment dragged on Joseph Nuncreed's face.
Yes, sir. Oh, ho, ho. I think I know who this is. Take them away.
No, I want them to see this. Ah, the ever-tempestuous Eleanor Van Horn. You've been quite the thorn in my side. Like a weed that's burrowed in where it doesn't belong. I must confess, you look dreadful.
He paused for a moment, plucking a piece of fuzz from his sweater and discarding it to the ground.
Consider yourself in rare company. You've managed to pull one over on me. It won't happen again. I knew you had some sort of plan to disrupt our little party. But alas, I expected something a bit more impressive than incoherent rambling. No matter. Your failures are yours to bear. Then that sharp Valentine. Mr. Kerr?
Yes, sir.
It's a shame it was cut short, but I thank you for that rousing oratory. I will take it from here.
Yes, sir, of course, sir.
You've done quality work for me, William. You can look forward to the recompense we agreed upon.
Kerr gave a bow of deference.
Founder, you are most gracious.
Gasps rippled through the crowd.
Thankfully, we can dispose with the formalities from here on out.
Solomon pulled a glass vial from his pocket. In one smooth motion, he downed its contents. A triumphant smile grew across Solomon's lips.
You can all call me Sharper Valentine.
His body and face began to contort and expand as he disappeared into a belching green mist. A hushed horror gripped the crowd. This is a story about change.
What? No! Ah, so you didn't see that coming. Good.
Sharper examined his new hands.
Well, this is quite the improvement. Everything looks so much smaller now. Eleanor was right about one thing. This festival was a ruse. I wanted you all to witness my glorious return with your own eyes. Why does everyone look so downtrodden? This is a celebration, people. Maybe it would help if we set the mood. Mr. Kerr, be a dear and reveal the sign. Ha! Wonderful.
Sharper choked out a crude squawk of a laugh. Frustrated grumbles sprinkled through the crowd.
Sharper, you malicious bastard. I'm glad you're back so I can tell you to your face. You destroyed this town. We ain't gonna let you get away with it again.
Sorry, this is not the time for audience participation. Some assistance, Mr. Kerr?
William Kerr gave a subtle nod to the clipboards.
You coward!
Does anyone else have something to contribute?
A helpless quiet settled over the crowd.
I thought so. Did you all truly believe you could be free of me? A town of complete and utter fools. You people should be celebrating my return. You're clearly lost without me. And that leads me nicely to my children. Daddy, I gave you both the greatest gift a parent can give. The opportunity to prove yourselves in my absence. Squandered. To say I'm disappointed would be an understatement. But I am... Silence, Augustus. An adult is speaking. I don't know which is worse. A son who is completely hopeless, or a daughter with such potential who inevitably lets me down. Heiress, you failed me with admirable consistency. Thankfully, I was counting on it this time. Father, I have been wasting time, my dear. What have you accomplished? I was focused on cementing our legacy. Legacy? Who needs a legacy when you can just live forever? But what about... It's all right, kiddo. I'm afraid you suffer from a complete lack of imagination. There's just no helping it. Now then, where's Joseph? You didn't take the opportunity to slip off, did you? Ah, there he is. Everyone should give him a hand. None of this would have been possible without Joseph. I think you've said enough. Nonsense. The people deserve to know how helpful and loyal you've been. I only did what I did because he left me no choice. You always had a choice, Joseph.
You were simply too weak to take it. No matter. Cheer up. You're about to be rich beyond your wildest dreams. You should follow Mr. Kerr's example. When I found him, he was in a sorrier state than any of you. An aging actor, desperate to recapture his youth. He played his part, and soon he'll be able to play the leading man again. Forever, in fact, if he remains loyal. And that goes for all of you. Well, those who haven't already frittered away my goodwill. Beacon Pines is mine again, and I'm willing to share its spoils in exchange for absolute loyalty.
Are you saying William Kerr was never in charge of Perennial Harvest? Ha!
You think that puffed-up blatherskite could have accomplished all this? Now, Dawn, I suppose it's time for your big exclusive.
Sharper addressed the crowd with indignant pride. He'd planned this moment for so long that now, at the deed's fruition, it almost felt frivolous.
You see, I needed a figurehead to hold things down while I orchestrated my return. Someone to misdirect, lie, and bilk this town for a spell. So I invented William Kerr. Bilker. Yeah, I figured that out a little while ago. Take your bow. You've earned it.
Mr. Kerr flourished a preposterously elaborate bow.
Patrick C. Montesquieu, Thespian Extraordinaire, at your service. Founder, I just want to thank you again for this opportunity. It truly was the role of a lifetime.
Wait, so this Bill Kerr was a patsy the whole time? Now that your secret's out in the open, what's to stop this town from rising up against you?
Oh, that's the delicious part. Fear. Thanks to our clipboards, I know what each and every person in this town fears most. And I will make those fears manifest for anyone who steps out of line. The choice is simple.
I'm not afraid of you.
Ha! The young hero. I've kept a keen eye on you, boy. You and your friends made a habit of disrupting my plans. What a pity. If things had gone a bit differently, you might have had your moment of triumph. But that's fate for you.
You can't do this.
Oh, but I can. I have won. Never underestimate what a great man can do, given time. And now time is my plaything. Perhaps the most expensive thing I've ever bought. But well worth it. Ha!
Sharper coughed up one final laugh and cracked his knuckles.
Enough chit-chat. Let's get to work, shall we?
And so, Sharper set about remaking the town in his own image. The fertilizer factory soon reopened for business. Sales rose steadily as more and more farmers across the countryside began to swear by its miraculous properties. Beacon Pines became famous, a secretive town that, for the right price, shared its gifts with all. Gifts that became more and more necessary in a world where winters grew longer and longer. The end.
It doesn't seem like the good ending, does it?
This is wrong, but things are becoming clearer now. You can feel it, right? We can't let Sharper win. He might just be the key to this whole thing. Let's see.
Ooh. Let's try this malice one, shall we? I don't know. I mean, that might make some difference. I'm not sure what, though. But this might be good. This is when Nuncreed is going to try and throw him down into the phone box basement, isn't it? There was a malice lurking behind those eyes.
Now like a trap ready to spring. Luca felt the weight of Nuncreed's hand on his shoulder. Something wasn't right. He didn't know why, but something was telling Luca to get out of there.
I just want all this to be over.
Of course, I'm sure it will work out soon enough.
I should get going. I told Roxy I'd check for Rolo at the
Luca
treehouse.
twisted free of Nuncreed's grasp.
Of course. Luca, you know your dad and I were good friends back in the day. You can come to me with anything. Anything at all.
Yeah, no. Okay, so... I don't know that we need to do anything in the library at the moment. Oh, okay, they're sharper. The festival decorations are a bit humdrum. Now, if I were to throw a festival, it would be a thing to behold. I agree, this is all more than a little sad. It's worse than sad. It's boring. What if we did a little something to spice things up? I'm listening. You know that festival sign waiting to be unveiled? It would be a shame if someone...
The king scurried off, eagerly formulating a plan.
Okay. Identify yourself, please. Nellie Moodwell. I work here now. I'm unable to locate you on our staff roll. Oh, I don't officially start until tomorrow. Mr. Kerr said I could come in earlier to get a few things done. Hold, please. Clearance authorized. Oh, thank you. Our harvest awaits.
Whoa. You could get a wrench to the noggin sneaking up on a guy like that. Don't scare a man while he's junkin', sonny.
Evening, Jeff. Isn't it kind of late to be junkin'?
He might as well ask the same thing of you.
Find anything good?
Ever since Perennial Harvest moved in, even the junk is trash. You can learn a lot about a person by looking at what they throw away. With this bunch, it's all shredded paper and coffee cups.
Well, I'd better get going.
I didn't see nothing if you didn't see nothing.
See what?
Exactly.
Oh, Jeff. Oh, it's the kid with the hilariously deep voice. Oh, we can't talk to him. Can we do anything with the sign? Oops. No, I guess we're going to the treehouse. Is that what we're doing? Rollo!
He aired a long holler into the woods.
Rollo! Huh. Rollo, wherever you are, I hope you're okay.
Luca felt his eyes getting heavy and plopped into the beanbag. He conceded to its lumpy embrace.
Because Rollo's trapped in the tunnels, isn't he?
Luca found himself in a vast black... This time, he knew exactly where to go. He took a single confident step forward. The world flickered and pulsed. He found himself standing in front of the frigid air of a blazing campfire. The source. He plopped down cross-legged and gazed into the cold flame, waiting. Soon enough, the fire began to die out, popping sporadically, until all that was left was a single ember. Luca stood up and dusted himself off. He plucked the glowing ember from the cold ash, examined it, and slid it into his pocket, a keepsake. The voice of his father spoke behind him. "You made me proud, Buckaroo." Luca turned to face him. "Dad, what is this place?" A warm grin grew across his father's face. "A place where everything that has been and everything that could be all wait together." Luca found himself staring at his father's face, trying as hard as he could to memorize every single detail. Wait? For what? Another voice spoke out as Luca's doppelganger stepped forward. "That's up to you." Without knowing why, Luca began to weep. Is any of this real? Are you real?" Luca's father bent down to smudge away a tear. "Of course. I'm as real as the part of you that misses me." Luca turned to look at the older version of himself. "And you?" The doppelganger choked back tears. "I'm as real as the part of you that's angry he's gone." Does that make sense? Through his tears, Luca laughed. I think so. His father pulled him in for an embrace. Time to go, buckaroo. Luca was startled from his dream by a banging on the floor.
Are you in
A
there?
commanding voice rumbled from
Oh, that wasn't
below.
very commanding, was it?
Just as Luca sprang to lock the entry hatch, the door knocked open.
Who is that?
Chapter 5. Dangers big and small. Luca stumbled back. He heard the rope ladder creak under significant weight. Keeping his eyes fixed on the
Nuncreed?
hatch, he inched backward to the balcony. As his hand grasped the door handle, Luca froze. A large figure clumsily wriggled up through the hole.
Oh, it's Big Rolo. Stop right there, or I'll... Sheesh, I know it's dark and all, but I figured you'd recognize me. Who are you?
The large figure cocked its head inquisitively.
Stop now, or I'll clobber you with the baseball bat. Whoa, 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 take it easy. Luca, you need to get your eyes checked. It's me, Rolo. Nice try, but I know that you aren't Rolo. You're like one of his random uncles or something. Where is he? Uncle? Luca, quit messing around. It's me. If it really is you, prove it. Flaming chicken coop, Luca.
Luca's jaw dropped. He peered more closely at the man standing in front of him. Something about him was undeniably Rolo, only bigger, older, changed.
How? What happened to you? When I was running away, I ran into more people in those yellow suits. They grabbed me and dragged me away. What? Where did they take you? Dunno, they threw a bag over my head. It was cold and smelled like a swimming pool. I think it was an underground lab or something. They made my hands all big, look.
Rolo proudly presented his hands to Luca.
Pretty sweet, right? Look, I mean it wouldn't be my first pick for a superpower, but beggars can't be choosers. Rolo, it wasn't just your hands. My feet, too? Dang, Pa just made me new shoes. Wait, Luca, why are you so small?
Luca moved to the side and pointed Rolo to his reflection in the balcony window.
What the?
His hands shot up to his face.
Holy Toledo! Rolo, what did they do to you? They made me drink some sort of green crud. Ew. Actually, it wasn't too bad. It tasted like licorice. I passed down and woke up like this. And then I sorta smashed open my cage and escaped. Oh, you smashed open a cage? Kinda. At least I think I did. It's all a bit of a blur. They had you in a cage. Who are these people? I don't know who did this to you, but we're gonna fix it. Fix it? This is awesome! Well, I'm just glad that you're safe now. Look, you don't need to worry about me. Sure, I got snatched, but look at it this way. I got snatched. I know where snatched people go. We may finally have a lead on what happened to your family. Maybe you're right, but this all seems dangerous. Danger, huh?
Rolo shadowboxed a few jabs.
I'll take them all on. Hey, fellas, what's up?
With a yelp, Rolo dove behind Luca.
Ah, take cover! Did I come at a bad time? Who the heck are you? This is Beck. Sorry, something truly bizarre had just happened and I need help. I don't know where else to go. So you're just hanging out here with your large adult friend? No, this is my buddy, Rolo. This is your missing friend? One and the same. He seems a little old. I'll have you know this is a recent development. What the heck does that mean? Oh, I'm sorry, you're the one who just showed up out of nowhere. So we'll be asking the questions here. That's fair. How did you find us? Your silly little treehouse? I think you mean our silly little mission control. I hate to break it to you, but your secret path isn't so secret. And I can hear your racket from a mile away. See, Luca, this is why we need to improve security around here. Not now, Rolo. Beck, you said something bizarre happened. Yeah, but...
She shot a nervous glance at Rolo.
Anything you can say around me, you can say around Rolo. This has been a weird day all around, hasn't it? Yep.
Beck's eyes narrowed.
Okay, so it all started when I made it back home. My first order of business was to try to salvage my hair. So I dyed it with some stuff from the chemistry set my mum gave me. Okay. Just need to play it cool and hope no one notices. Notices what? Oh, nothing. I was just... Come over here and let me have a look. Oh, honey, what in the world did you do to your hair? It just kind of felt like a change. This is going to take forever to grow out. You were the one who said that change was a good thing, right? I was talking about your mother's new job. I was talking about us moving. Well, I guess I just took your lesson to heart.
Ilona tried to put on a smile.
Before I forget, I came up here to tell you that Nellie had to go into work. Tonight? Here and Mr. Kerr decided it would be good for her to get some things done before tomorrow. That Kerr guy seems like a grade A creep. Beck! He is! Him and his weird cult of personality. You are not going to ruin this job for Nellie. It means too much to her. Oh, I know exactly how much it means to her. It means enough to her to exile her daughter to this podunk town. This place sucks. The people are weird. You just don't know them yet. It's always cold. We're in the mountains. You'll get used to it. I can't even pick up a single decent station on the radio. It's all banjo music and farm reports. You know I grew up in a town not that different from this one. Is that why you're better at talking to plants than people? Okay. So here's what we're going to do. First of all, you're grounded. What? In the morning, I'll have Nellie come and see what we can do about fixing your hair. You need to look presentable for the festival. But not another peep.
She sighed, and after a moment, looked down at Beck sympathetically.
I know moving is hard, honey. That doesn't mean you have to make yourself miserable all the time. Other people seem to have that covered for me. Oh, and if you decide to rebel by dyeing your hair more...
She flashed a sly grin and tousled Beck's hair.
I'll just shave it off for you. Think of how rebellious you'll look then. Very funny. Thank you. Good night, sweetie. Good night, Mom. Wait. First of all, this town does not suck. Second, you need help because you got grounded? No. I'm sorry you got in trouble. It's my fault your hair got screwed up in the first place. Don't worry about it. I actually kind of like this look. Great. Can we get back to the story now? This next part is the important bit. I have this radio upgraded. I upgraded with my mum and I was too angry to sleep. So I tried to dial in something worth listening to. Mr. Kerr, are you there? Mr. Kerr?
Yes, I'm busy. What is it?
Apologies, I have the founder on the line.
Oh, patch him through immediately.
One moment.
Hello, sir. It's so nice to hear from you.
Skip the pleasantries. What's your report on our new lead researcher of deep engineering?
Oh, Nellie Modwell seems to be integrating nicely. This very moment she's working to help us meet our deadline. She offered to work overtime before I even had the chance to suggest it.
Excellent. And you have faith that she's capable of finishing the work left by her predecessor? Her work must be complete before the festival.
I'll make sure she stays day and night until it's accomplished.
Good. You know how I feel about loose ends.
Yes, sir.
Once she has finished the work, we need to make a determination regarding her long-term prospects in the company.
Immediately, sir? I usually have more time to fully bring people into the fold.
We're in the endgame, Bill. After your failures with Dr. Prescott, I can't afford to take any risks.
Of course, sir. No loose ends, sir. Once she finishes the work, she'll either leave the office completely committed to perennial harvest, or she won't leave at all.
Perfect.
Sir, if I might suggest, maybe we should delay just for a bit.
Oh?
It's just, we seem to be rushing to hit this festival deadline. And rushing into things has caused some, issues in the past.
I see.
Please understand that I just want what's best for you. I'm eternally grateful for all the work, for all that you've done for me.
Bill, I'll make this very clear for you. I brought you in to make things run smoothly, not to have opinions.
Of course, sir.
Chin up, Bill. You're only a few days away from having everything you ever dreamed of.
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir.
Whoa. Yeah. Just so we're clear, when they said loose ends, they were talking about murder, right? Like actually killing someone? Capital murder?
Luca gave Rollo a quick elbow to the ribs.
Who is this founder? I was hoping you guys would know. Now, as far as we know, Pekur is the top banana at Perennial Harvest. He sounded scared of this founder guy. So we have an even topper banana on the field. What the hell is my mom caught up in? Has she talked about the job much? Not really. She said she was going to come in and continue the work of someone she respected. Luca, do you think that body at the warehouse was the person Beck's mum came to replace? That would make sense. Beck, it seems like Nellie's predecessor got, loose-ended. I'm getting that impression. Okay, so we need to get your mum out of there before the festival happens. That's 2 days away. Won't she just come home after work? The creep on the radio said they were going to hold her there until then. So if she's not coming out, we got to go in and get her.
Beck flicked a large sheet of paper out of her pocket and slammed it on the floor.
Maybe this'll help. You have blueprints? Well, it's really just a welcome mat for my mum's PH orientation day. But it shows the layout. Sure looks like blueprints to me. Look, here's the reception area. There's a big room marked Founder's Office. It even has the exits marked. Guys. We have a deadline. We have an objective. We have blueprints. You realize what this is, right?
Rollo started to wiggle with excitement.
I think we're heisting. This is officially a heist.
Chapter 6.
Okay, so we're at the hour point now for this video. So I think that's probably a good place to leave it. We seem to be heading into another kind of end game for this game. We've had a few now. Got a few deaths. But yes, it looks good. It's all unfolding quite nicely, I think. And I hope you've enjoyed it too. And if you have, then please do hit the like button on the video and subscribe to the channel as well. That'd be fantastic. And in the meantime, I hope to see you again for more Beacon Pines. Quite possibly the end as well, but we'll see. So, bye for now.